Today's story: the conversion of Tuffail bin Amr to Islam. After the siege on Bani Hashim and when the treaty of Quraish has ended, the idolaters had come with a new way to fight Islam and harass Muslims. They went out to the roads to warn the comers to Mecca about the Prophet, peace be upon him, and his dawah. Now it is worth mentioning that Islam and Muslims have been fought and oppressed viciously by Islamophobics and haters since the dawn of Islam. But this isn't necessarily a bad thing for Islam. 9/11, for instance, is a good example of that, because according to many American politicians and experts, the events of 9/11 were fabricated internally in the US, and the purpose of that was to smear the reputation of Islam and make it look like an ideology of terrorism. Ironically enough though, everything happened except for what they planned for, because after the reality of 9/11 was exposed to the world, people became eager to know more about Islam, because they barely knew it, which led to mass conversions to Islam. Now the exact same thing happened with Quraish. Their vicious intentions to smear the image of Islam and the Prophet, peace be upon him, made people wonder, what is Islam anyways, and who is Muhammad? In order for people to hate the Prophet and the religion he brought, they had to know them first. Yet, when they knew more about the Prophet, peace be upon him, and about Islam, they simply embraced it. Anyway, as Quraish people went out to the roads to warn the comers to Mecca about the Prophet, peace be upon him, they happened to come across one of Quraish's masters, Tuffail bin Amr al-Dawsi. He was a revered and a respected man in his tribe, and as they met him, they told him, "Watch out of the magician in Mecca. That magician can do a man and his wife apart. Not only that, but he can also turn a father against his son, and he can make them enemies. So whatever he says, do not listen to him." Tuffail panicked, and as he entered Mecca, he put cotton in his ears so he does not listen. He literally blocked his ears with cotton so that he does not listen to the Prophet, peace be upon him. Tuffail started doing tawaf around the Kaaba, and in that time, the Prophet was nearby, praying and reciting the Quran. Well, despite Tuffail's clogged ears, Tuffail couldn't help overhearing the beautiful recitation of the Prophet, peace be upon him. He felt mesmerized. He really liked what he heard. Although Tuffail was a poet, he was really amazed of the Quran, because there was nothing like it. So Tuffail decided to overlook what Quraish told him and removed the cotton from his ears and listened to the recitation of the Prophet. When the Prophet was done praying, he left home, and Tuffail, who was there listening to him, followed him. After the Prophet got into his house, Tuffail knocked on his door, and the Prophet, peace be upon him, opened the door. Tuffail then said to Muhammad, "Your people told me things about you, but your recitation at the Kaaba got my attention. I want to know more about you and your religion." The Prophet, peace be upon him, invited Tuffail into his house and recited some verses of the Holy Quran on him. And there, Tuffail once again was marveled. This was the fairest and the most beautiful thing he has ever heard in his life. It is then Tuffail said "Ash-Shahada" and became a Muslim. Do you guys know why this happened? This happened because Islam is a religion that addresses the mind, for it is a religion of reason, not emotion. The Quran, you guys, has over 6,000 verses, and 1,000 of them speak about science in various domains. After Tuffail converted, he said to the Prophet, peace be upon him, "I am a man who is revered and respected in my tribe. I shall invite them to Islam. Pray that Allah gives me a sign that will help me in inviting my people." The Prophet, peace be upon him, then said, "Allah, give him a sign. Allahumma ij'al lahu ayah." So Allah gave him light, which his tribe saw as he went to invite them to Islam. Al-Tuffail was gleaming. When Al-Tuffail arrived at his people with the light and gleam in him, he met his father and told him, "Father, I follow the religion of Muhammad." His father said, "I follow what you follow." Then he converted. And after that, his wife came and he told her, "Get away from me. I am following a different religion now." But his wife then said, "I follow what you follow." And then she converted. And despite all of that, Al-Tuffail's tribe, Al-Daws, did not rush to convert to Islam. Therefore, Al-Tuffail went to the Prophet, peace be upon him, and said, "Please pray for Al-Daws tribe." And then the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "Allah, guide Al-Daws tribe. Allahumma hdi Dawsan wa ati bihim." He then told Al-Tuffail, "Go back to your people and be gentle with them." As you guys know, there is no compulsion in religion. Whoever becomes convinced in religion, he becomes the religion itself. فَلَا إِكْرَاهَ فِي الدِّينِ. Just as the Prophet, peace be upon him, became a walking Quran, Al-Tuffail went back to his family and tribes and did as the Prophet told him to do. It took a while, but Al-Daws tribe eventually embraced Islam. This Quran that left Al-Tuffail marveled and mesmerized in an everlasting miracle. It contains bridling answers to every atheist who claims that the Prophet was literate and that he plagiarized from the previous books. It is impossible for the Quran to be a human-made book. For all the futuristic sciences he spoke about 1,500 years ago, how can this book that was revealed to an illiterate man in the middle of the desert, where there are no books, nor education, nor scientists, to be human-made? Until we meet next time.